Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. Friends, September series is ended on a very good note. At the broad index level, we have seen a gain of almost about 6.5%. That is at the Sensex and the Nifty level. And individual stocks and sectors, we have seen extremely good performance, particularly the mid caps, the banking index, some of the stocks in the infra space. Retail stocks like Pantaloons have registered almost about 40% kind of a gain. At the same time, the entire United Spirits group, the United Spirits, United Breweries and the UB Holding, all these stocks also have registered extremely smart gains. First of all, looking at the global markets, friends, US markets were up almost about 1% after 5 days kind of a losing streak, and even European markets were up marginally, as we've seen some kind of steps being taken by the Spain to cut their deficit, and also the bond yields have kind of stabilized a bit. So we've seen some kind of a recovery, but overall sluggishness is continuing in the global marketplace after the run up that we saw. Looking at the Asian markets, we are seeing some weakness after Japan reported a weak set of data on the industrial production and unemployment data front. In terms of flows, friends, the FIs yesterday were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of 400 crore, and the domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 493 crore. Friends, let's talk to Nandish about the key takeaways from the current expiry and what one can look forward to in the next expiry. Hi Nandish, good morning.
Good morning.
The September series actually ended up on a very good note for the whole month, and we registered a gain of almost about 6.5%. And there were spectacular performances from few pockets. But what in your opinion were the key takeaways as far as this September expiry is concerned, and important highlights of the rollover front?
See, what we have seen that in the August series, we have seen that when September series started, majority of the short positions were carried on to the September series. Now, what interestingly we have observed for the current series is that day before yesterday, we have seen that the rollovers were around 58%. On the expiry day, generally the rollovers are around 10 to 12%, but we have seen only 4 to 5% rollovers taking place. Now, the majority of the short positions left uncovered as the rollover cost has increased significantly. So, what we think that overall bias for the market from the current level still remains positive, and we have a very good supports continuing on the lower side.
And any broad outlook that you can share with us for the next series?
See, on a position wise, we have seen that the PCR ratio started around 0.97. Now, generally we have seen that below 1 is a negative sign, but from past 2 to 3 expiry, we have seen that around 0.94 when the PCR starts. Generally, that market seems a very good buying taking place. Even the rollover on the other front was on a lower side. So, that remains a positive for the current scenario. Now, cost of carry has increased, and we have started around 2.30 crore shares in open interest, which is in line with the expectations. As I was discussing for the rollovers, it started around 64%. No doubt the roller was on a lower side, but majority of the long position has been covered, rolled to the current series, and no short positions left uncovered. Now, on the option side, we have seen that 5,500 put option has seen a good addition, and on the call side, 5,700, 800, and even 900 strike a good building on a higher side. So, what we feel that 5,500 for a broader perspective will act as a very good support, and monthly range, at the money straddle break-even points around comes around 5504 on a lower side. So we think that 5,500 will act as a very good support, and on a higher side 5897. So 5,800, 5,850 can also be targeted.
Right, Nandish, and any interesting ideas that you can share with us?
For intraday, we have identified 3 stocks. Lupin is looking positive with a stop loss of 589.25. HCL Technology is looking positive with a stop loss of 570, and ITC is looking positive with a stop loss of 264.30.
Also, friends, in case of Lupin, it is getting added to the Sensex effective today, so there is going to be some amount of action because of that as well. Thanks a lot, Nandish, for that update. Friends, back home we had a lackluster session on Friday, and we saw that both Nifty and Sensex had a very narrow movement as such. No major action was there in terms of even specific sectors as such. But in terms of news, Fitch has actually downgraded the overall growth forecast for both India and China. For India, the growth forecast has been revised to 6% versus 6.5%, and even for China, it has been revised to 7.8% from 8%. And in case of fiscal deficit, what they have said is that it could actually shoot up the target of the government by substantial margin, and they are looking at a deficit of in fact almost 8.5%, which is quite huge. Friends, in terms of companies which have hit the news, first of all, the group of ministers cleared the country's drug pricing policy, and the key highlights of the policy are that in case of 348 drugs, the price would be capped, and this could lead to reduction in the prices of some of the essential drugs by as much as about 11%. So this development is negative for companies like Kerala Healthcare, Cipla and Abbott India. Friends, today there is going to be a change in the composition of the index, and companies like Lupin and Ultratech are moving in, whereas the SAIL and Sterlite are going out. So you could see some negative reaction for SAIL and Sterlite and some positive reaction for Lupin and Ultratech in today's market. In case of Aurobindo Pharma, friends, they've gotten approval from US FDA for one of the drugs. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 136 and a target of about 147 to 155. Power Grid is looking at investing about 1300 odd crore in strengthening their grid in the northern region. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 114 and a target of about 119 to 121. And Kingfisher Airlines, which has actually been in the news for quite a while, there are indications that is in talks with Emirates for a possible stake buy in Kingfisher Airlines. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 16.5 and a target of about 18 to 19. And in case of Arcom, friends, they have said that they are going to introduce a new plan with unlimited voice calls for rupees 899. So you could see some action in Arcom because of that. One can go long with a stop loss of 62.5 and a target of about 66 to 68. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.